Marie Curie was a groundbreaking scientist who made some of the most important discoveries in the history of science. Born in Poland in 1867 as Maria Sklodowska, she grew up loving school and learning. But in Poland at that time, women weren't allowed to study at universities. Determined to follow her dream of learning more about science, she moved to France when she was older, where women were allowed to study. In France, she changed her name to Marie and went to a famous school called the Sorbonne in Paris, where she studied physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Marie Curie became famous for her work on radioactivity, which is a type of energy that some elements give off. Together with her husband, Pierre Curie, she discovered two new elements, polonium, which she named after her home country, Poland, and radium. These elements were radioactive, meaning they emitted energy in ways scientists had never seen before. Her research was incredibly important because it led to new ideas about how atoms work, which changed science forever. In 1903, Marie Curie became the first woman ever to win a Nobel Prize. She won it in physics along with her husband and another scientist for their work on radioactivity. A few years later, in 1911, she won a second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for discovering the elements polonium and radium. This made her the first person in history to win two Nobel Prizes in different scientific fields. Marie Curie's discoveries were not just important for science, but also for medicine. Her work on radioactivity helped lead to treatments for diseases like cancer. During World War I, she helped create mobile X-ray machines that were used to help doctors examine injured soldiers on the battlefield. These X-ray machines saved many lives. Despite her great achievements, Marie Curie faced many challenges. As a woman in science, she often had to work harder to prove herself in a world dominated by men. She also worked under tough conditions, sometimes in a small, damp lab with very little funding. But she never gave up because of her deep love for science and discovery. Unfortunately, her long exposure to radioactive materials took a toll on her health. She became sick from the radiation and passed away in 1934. Even though her life was cut short, Marie Curie's legacy lives on. She inspired many scientists and continues to be a role model, especially for women in science. Marie Curie's story is one of determination, passion,